Here's the headquarters area of the Paraiso ranch. As you can see, it's just pretty plain kind of a headquarters, Greg. It is pretty adequate. You can sleep 25-30 people there in trailer houses and whatnot. There are some permanent improvements and some trailer houses, all in pretty good shape. I'll show you some more video of that here in a bit. We just looked at the runway briefly. It needs a lot of work, but the bones are there. Here's the entrance along the south side of FM 2295, which is the same highway as I told you where Cone fronts, further to the east. Here we're traveling west along 2295. We're going to come up on a food plot over here in the corner. A portion of it is irrigated. It has a pivot system that moves. There's 5 different stations where they move this pivot to and from to irrigate the better portion of this area. The irrigated area is high fenced, and the dove hunting is absolutely phenomenal in this area when you grow something, especially sesame in that high fenced area. Right here is a little foreman's house, which is up along the highway. It's adequate right now for a family to live in, you know, as far as a foreman's family or something like that. And it's nice because it's removed from the headquarters of the ranch so that you're not dealing with hired help on a daily basis. As you can see, mostly mesquite, kind of a mixed mesquite brush, prickly pear. This is an area where they've roller chopped for quail production. They did a real nice job. In fact, one of my agents, Chris Garcia, supervised all this work, increasing the quail habitat. And of course, it hadn't rained much since that time, so there's not a lot of ground cover, which is what the whole idea was of the project. But if we get some rain, it'll come right along. You can see there's some nice sized bull mesquites in this area. Here's just an aerial view all along. We're moving south along the western boundary. All good native brush through here. Excellent browse for deer. You can see there's a lot of variance in the soils. Along in here are some real nice red sandy soils. Excellent for all types of wildlife. It ranges. There are some bottom areas along the creeks where there's some heavier, darker soils. There's maybe 5, 6, 7% of the ranch that has kind of some gravelly ridge country with some cenizo. You can see some there behind the deer blind. It's kind of a cenizo area. Here's a nice creek that runs through the place. There's oaks, elms, all kinds of large brush through this area. Or excuse me, not brush, but large trees and whatnot. Lots of turkeys in this area. Again, we're looking at some of the red sandy soils through this area. I don't have an exact count, but there's a good number of good quality deer blinds. Biggest thing that this ranch needs is a bulldozer. It's an excellent ranch with lots of water wells, good heavy producing water wells. It just hasn't had a whole lot of mechanical manipulation. I would widen the roads, senderos, do some roller chopping, just some general brush maintenance would change this ranch completely. Now we're on the south boundary of the ranch. This is down where it borders the Sweden ranch that was purchased by Mr. Hildebrand. And the railroad does form the southern boundary of the ranch in this area. This is the lake that's kind of down in the southeast portion of the ranch. You can see the pier there is way out of water. He just hasn't pumped water into it in a while. You could make this lake about 4 times that size if of course, if we had some rainfall it would help, but also if some water were being pumped into that lake. Here's another small pond, excellent dove hunting area. This is about a 500-acre grass field along the eastern boundary. It would be excellent quail habitat. Again, I would get in there and rip it, get it planted, leave some, let some of those weesatch trees come back and develop some cover in there. Just kind of mott the trees in there and leave the rest of it open. Now we're back on FM 2295. We're at the northeast corner. Again, here's the entrance with the main road leading back to the headquarters. There's the headquarters in the distance, the deer blind in the foreground. Here's the roller chopped area. Once again, we're passing through some of that stuff that they roller chopped. I can't wait to see some rain on this area. Another deer blind, one of the heavier brush areas. Excellent cover in here and excellent browse. Here's the headquarters again. You can see the trailer houses, how they're placed in there, and in between them they have little parking garages, picnic type areas. There's a entertaining cooking building. There's a cinder block duplex that's in good shape. Overall it's a very useful headquarters. You're just going to want to build you something a little bit nicer for a permanent lodge there. Here's the corner of the large grass field we talked about. There's a little deer blind food plot. This is just showing some of the senderos on the ranch. Now we're back at the lake again. We'll take a little bit closer look at it. You can back water all the way up through here and maintain it. There's water piped to it to where you can maintain it at all times. Be an excellent fishing lake. Just needs a little TLC. Pretty nice lake. Little deer blind and food plot area in the center of the ranch. Now we're back at the headquarters. This is the barn. Nice barn. Got a walk-in cooler. Plenty of covered parking. This is their little hanging shed where they take care of their animals. We're inside right now. We're inside the barn that we previously looked at.
It's myself, a brother, his best friend, three of my best buddies.
Another tractor shed. Here's one trailer. You can see a little parking garage connected to it, and there's a trailer coming off the back of it. There's the kitchen area. This is a duplex with a parking garage next to it. There's another two trailers and a shed behind that. This just shows a little bit closer how they put the patios and the sheds attached to the trailer houses. All indications are that the trailers, all of the improvements will stay. I think the equipment is negotiable.
He said Mark is not 100% positive, but he got the action that all these trailers will stay just as is. But he will have to confirm.
Yeah.
This is the inside.
You can do a
of the kitchen slash cafeteria entertaining area.
We found him on the ground over there by
It's a freestanding brick building. Now we're on the ground. We just drove around a little bit to get you some video, show some of the deer blinds, the soils, the terrain, the brush cover. I'm just trying to take some representative shots here where you could get a feel for it.
that guy lives there and takes care of the property for that.
Yeah, they went way out past 68.
Well, and Big Sammy had about a 12 or 13 inch G1 and some.
A couple of yearling bucks we caught out in the open here. Remember, this is dead of winter. This is the just a couple days before Christmas. Been awfully dry. We've already had a freeze, so you can tell this country looks pretty hard. But again, that's just going to be the time of year.
Good creek.
Yeah, I would say the average is 35 to 42, something like that.
This Concepcion picking back up on.
One thing I did notice is that there are a lot of cross fences on the ranch that I absolutely would destroy and take off the ranch. There's no need for them. And that just falls into that category of doing all the dozer work and whatnot. You can see how narrow the roads and senderos are. You could really get in there with a dozer or roller chopper and widen those out and leave the bigger trees and make it better for hunting, for quail hunting, for everything. Create more edge, loafing areas for turkeys, quail, etc.
Our creek's right on our left. Okay, see it right down there through the draw. We just follow this creek around here. And we haven't matured this area. We don't hunt this area enough. It's got one of our bad blinds on it.
Real nice persimmon bottom.
Nice bottom in there.
This is an area that was burned this past spring. They had a real nice controlled burn through here, and it just hadn't had the water to come back yet, but it's going to be excellent condition once it gets a little moisture. This is the main road that leads to the house. It is an all-weather road. I would imagine you could get to the headquarters no matter what. It's a good caliche road all the way through. This is the one road on the ranch where they actually, it's actually widened out, opened up. Looks real nice.
That's it.
He just understands that.
Yeah, he really does.
That's so important.